How do we know? How do we know if the plane we are boarding is going to fly over a war zone? And does that put us at risk? Joining me tonight, Mark Murphy, a travel expert. Mark, thanks for coming on. And that's the question tonight.
Yeah.
How do I know what flight path my pilot has chosen?
Well, the reality is, in many flights, you are flying over war zones like Afghanistan and other hotspots, Syria, places in the Middle East. So you are doing that, but the idea is that the FAA looks at those routes, looks at what's going on the ground, and sends a notice to airmen if you have to change altitudes or change direction. And that's something that you know in advance. The challenge here with what happened was this is a missile that's Russian-made that can go 75,000 feet into the air. So even though they said fly above 32,000 feet, which was the notice, it made no difference in that war zone if someone was going to target a commercial jet liner.
Was that what the federal government was telling
that was the
pilots?
notice from a few days ago.
So even what the government was saying wouldn't have kept me safe?
No, in that case, absolutely not, because of the equipment that they used, the missile system.
And the pilot has a lot of discretion here, right?
Not really, because that flight plan is put in place. It's
but
approved.
Generally.
Well, no, the air traffic controllers are going to pick you up. In fact, they were scheduled to fly at 35,000 feet, and Ukrainian air traffic controllers brought them down to 33,000. Not that that would have made any difference, but they make adjustments, country to country, and those air traffic controllers are handing that plane off as it's traveling to new space. So they're literally followed all along that flight path.
That's interesting. So there was something the FAA issued. They call it a notice to airmen. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah, that's
NOTAM?
Yeah, NOTAM. So that's what happens. They let you know if there's a hot spot or something that you need to be concerned about, and that goes out, and that's what that NOTAM was.
This was not an American plane, right? So
no.
Did they not get those notices?
No, they do not.
Did they not care?
They do not. They don't get those notices. They can certainly monitor that stuff. This was under Eurocontrol, and they said that this was an approved routing by European air traffic control. That's the challenge.
Nobody thought that a missile was going to fly that far into the air, right?
Well, they knew that missile system was there, but the question is, when you target with that missile system, you're talking about targeting 5 minutes beforehand, tracking it, and being able to shoot it up to 12 miles. So they saw the plane. We don't know what was going on in their heads. Did they think it was a Ukrainian jet?
That's what they said.
If so, did they just choose the wrong target? And that's really just terrible.
Apparently, the technology with a weapon system is so complicated that it will choose a target for you, and it will go after the larger target and make up its own mind. So, the devil in the detail here is, did these people who were firing this equipment, did they have much, if any, training in shooting a weapon?
I mean, that's for the politics of what's happening there. Who are these people that are fighting on the ground? Are they actually Russians? Is this a terrorist incident? In my opinion, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark, it's interesting. I know a lot of flyers out there nervous, and the industry itself probably, a little worried, scratching their chins too, because this impacts the industry and its profits.
Here's what I would say. I would say that this is just such a crazy incident, and I just feel so bad for Malaysia Airlines because...
And the families.
Yeah, just terrible for all involved. But you got to look at this and say, what is the likelihood? You're flying from LA to New York.
Well,
what is the likelihood?
I would have thought that the Malaysian Airlines plane wouldn't have been shot down, so...
Yeah, what are the odds? So it's terrible for those families, and our heart goes out to them.
Mark, thank you.
Thanks.